News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A death at the Missoula County Jail. Good morning, everyone. This is Montana Morning. It is Thursday, November the 6th, 2014. Thanks so much for joining us on this edition of Montana Morning. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Digit Excavating, bringing 30 years of excellence to every job. Visit their website at digitmontana.com. This morning's top story, an unidentified Missoula County Detention Center inmate in his 30s has died from injuries sustained in a fall. Public Information Officer with the County Sheriff's Office, Paige Pavallone, has details.
He had fallen off the second tier in our classification pod, which is in one of the housing units. He fell over the railing and fell onto his head and sustained an injury. He was subsequently transported to the hospital, and he eventually succumbed to his injuries, and he passed away.
Pavallone says because the incident occurred in the Missoula County Jail, a different agency, the police department, will handle the investigation.
So the Missoula City Police Department has been asked by Sheriff Ibsen to come in and investigate the circumstances surrounding the fall off of the tier. So they're actively investigating that right now. I believe that there's 2 detectives assigned to the case, and a non-law enforcement coroner has been requested from Sheriff Ibsen from Powell County to come in and investigate the circumstances as well.
Because all the victims' family members have not yet been notified, his name has not yet been released. A 26-year-old Montana man has pleaded not guilty to fatally shooting a 3-year-old boy with a gun he didn't think was loaded as the two played together. Galen Hawk of St. Ignatius entered his plea yesterday to a negligent homicide charge in Lonato Moran Allen's October 22nd death. Prosecutors allege Hawk had been drinking when he saw the boy holding his gun and took it away. Hawk told authorities the boy then ran away and looked back at him while pretending to shoot a toy gun. Hawk said he pointed his gun at the child and pulled the trigger, believing the weapon wasn't loaded because the magazine was in his pocket. The boy was shot in the back and died weeks before his 4th birthday. A judge set a March 2nd trial date. Hawk remains jailed on $100,000 bail. It was a disheartening election cycle for Montana Democrats after the departure of U.S. Senator Max Baucus to China. The party's hand-picked replacement, former Lieutenant Governor John Walsh, saw his campaign implode in a plagiarism scandal. That helped put the seat in Republican hands for the first time since back in 1913. Another candidate backed by the Democratic establishment, Baucus' protege John Lewis, was solidly defeated by Republican Ryan Zinke. The combined results pushed the Treasure State to the right politically, reflecting Republican gains nationwide, but also missteps by Democrats in Montana. Montana voters have defeated ballot issues that would have barred people from registering to vote on Election Day and would have changed the name of the state auditor's office. A legislative referendum sought to end voter registration on the Friday before Election Day. Also on the ballot, a proposed constitutional amendment to rename the state auditor position. Voters rejected that change. Missoula County Sheriff-elect T.J. McDermott appeared on the Talkback program yesterday after emerging victorious over write-in candidate Josh Clark in Tuesday's general election. McDermott mentioned during the interview he had not yet received a call from his opponent, Josh Clark, conceding the election.
No, absolutely not. I haven't heard from him, which is disappointing. But I imagine that after this sets in and people have a chance to move forward, that hopefully him and I will have a conversation.
McDermott says he's hoping also for a smooth transition period with current Sheriff Carl Ibsen between now and the time he'll take office on January 1st.
I have been elected sheriff now that I'm the sheriff-elect, and move forward with assisting me with transition. And, that's something that hadn't happened after the primary election, and now that it's official, I just really want to work with him to give him the respect that he deserves for his long-standing career in this community.
Clark's been undersheriff to Ibsen. He ran a vigorous write-in campaign after losing the Democratic primary in June. A mountain lion is suspected of killing 2 sheep and 3 goats near a recreation area southeast of Missoula. Doug Stewart told the Missoulian the animals were pets. His family had to keep the grass and weeds under control around his house in the Patty Canyon area. Stewart says Fish, Wildlife, and Parks wardens were investigating yesterday morning and said the kills appear to be the work of a mountain lion. What began as a one-vehicle collision with a guardrail on Highway 93 South between Lolo and Missoula yesterday led to a chain reaction of vehicle crashes, resulting in 1 person transported to St. Patrick Hospital and 3 traffic citations. Highway Patrol Trooper Andrew Novak investigated. He said the incident began about 10:30 when a male apparently driving under the influence crashed into the guardrail about a mile marker 86 between Missoula and Lolo.
Essentially, there was A one vehicle non-injury crash, a vehicle versus guardrail, and then there was a 3-vehicle crash where one person was injured and was transported by ambulance to St. Pat's Hospital.
Novak said there was yet another crash on the crowded roadway.
In the aftermath of that, while law enforcement and fire were on scene of the original 2 crashes, other folks not paying much attention, failing to slow down as necessary to move over. Another vehicle struck another vehicle.
Novak said the first driver was cited for DUI while the 2 others were cited for careless driving. Montana wildlife officials say a group of about 140 bison captured from Yellowstone Park will be relocated to the Fort Peck Indian Reservation next week. Fish, Wildlife and Parks Director Jeff Hagner yesterday approved the transfer of the animals. The bison went through a lengthy quarantine to ensure they don't carry the animal disease brucellosis. They've been held for the past several years on a ranch owned by former media mogul Ted Turner after prior relocation proposals fell through. Yellowstone's bison are prized for their pure genetics. Conservation groups, tribes, and wildlife agencies from several states sought to receive some of the animals, but state wildlife commissioners last month rejected those recommendations. Republicans made big gains in both the U.S. House and Senate this week, but the needle barely moved in the Montana legislature. Republican Party Chairman Will Deshaw says the numbers are still in flux.
These are preliminary numbers right now. We have to wait for canvassing and provisional ballots and stuff, but we don't think we're going to lose any seats in the House or the Senate here in the state. If anything, we may pick up one House seat or we may lose one House seat. We're kind of in a state of flux right now.
Even if the Montana Senate stays the same, Deshaw sees it as a Republican victory.
In the Senate, we may be up 1, which actually, it's hard to explain. We may be up 3 because through redistricting, we actually lost 2 Senate seats. But it appears if we win 1, we actually pick up 3, if that makes any sense.
At this point, it appears the Republicans will have 59 or 60 congresspersons in the 100-member State House and 29 senators in the 50-member Senate. Newstalk time now is 6:10.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy skies today with a slight chance of a shower. Temperatures will top out in the mid-50s. Wind will be out of the west-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Spotty showers tonight, low right around 40. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.